Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Q&A edition of Optimal Relationships Daily, episode 1656. I'm Greg Audino, your host of the show. Once again, taking a break from narrating and commentating on relationship content, as I normally do, to instead answer a question that's been sent in by one of your fellow listeners about their own love lives and relationship concerns. Today's asker is on the fence about whether or not to officially break up with her boyfriend of 8 years. So let's hear what she's thinking and feeling, offer a second opinion, and optimize your life. I was debating breaking up with my boyfriend, as it felt like we were growing apart. He apparently didn't feel that way. As I prepared to break up, I wanted to delete photos of me off his phone and found photos of other women. So I left, and I was mad. But several weeks later, now I'm finding myself wanting to see him again. I want to stay with him, but he doesn't see flirting or getting pictures of other women who he doesn't sleep with as cheating. I feel dumb for staying and upset occasionally, but I still also kind of want to stay with him. I'm not sure I'll find better, and we've been together for 8 years. Do I break up? And there we have it. Thanks a lot for sending this in, Asker. To answer your question in a very straightforward fashion, I would say yes, you should break up or stay broken up. If you've been listening to me answer questions for a while, you know I'm not normally so driven in my advice. But with all due respect, of course, nothing about what you said makes me hopeful for this relationship right now. Let's talk about why, though. So what I'm about to say may surprise you, but just hear me out. Almost none of my confidence is coming from the fact that your boyfriend has pictures of other women on his phone. I'm also not focusing on the fact that he doesn't consider this a form of infidelity and seems to be entirely dismissive of your feelings about this. Are these red flags? Absolutely they are. Do I feel he's in the right in doing this? Absolutely not. I would be very curious to be a fly on the wall of the innards of his brain, watching his neurons compute why he thinks this is acceptable. Everyone has their own justifications after all, but is this something you want or you need in your partner? No. Don't think that I'm somehow on his side, if that's where your mind is going to. That's not what this is about. Again, while what you've shared about his behavior doesn't leave me feeling like he's bringing his best to the relationship, it is still trumped by what you've told me about how you're feeling, and frankly, a bit about how you're behaving too. Let's look at some of the things that you said about staying with him. So first you said, I also kind of want to stay with him. Now, does this sound like someone who's exhibiting true love? Would you want someone who kind of wants to stay with you? Ideally, we want to be 100% certain about our commitment to being with someone, or at least committed to working through things together. Can we always be? No. And even that's okay if it's described as like a true conflict, a war in which passion is at the center. But kind of, like that terminology, that just sounds indifferent to me. And indifference is far, far away from love. You also said that you're not sure you'll find better. Where's that coming from? Is it because you're really trying to acknowledge all the beauty that he brings to your life and questioning yourself because you're having a hard time appreciating that in full? Or is it more along the lines of anything is better than being single and he's just good enough? I'm getting the impression, I'm guessing that it's the latter. And then you say you don't want to leave because you've been together for 8 years. Now, I can see where you're coming from with this. It's easy to feel a sense of pride and nobility in sticking by something that has stuck by us or that we've already put so much into. But it's also really easy to confuse this with the fear of change. Just because you've been in this for a while does not mean that it hasn't run its course and is now providing you with more pain than pleasure. And I firmly believe that this is the case right now. Do me a favor and go read up on what's called the sunk cost fallacy. Just Google that. You'll see what I mean. It'll provide a good description of what I'm trying to say here. So those are the things that you asked. I don't know who gave you the impression that these are reasons worth staying, but if you are on the market for another opinion, which you seem to be since you reached out, they are absolutely not reasons worth staying, in my opinion. And aside from what you said, what you did was go through his phone. deleting photos of yourself, I assume without his permission. Because why? Maybe you thought it would make it easier for him after you've broken up? I don't know. But there's a sense of control here that's really not sitting well with me. Whether it's about violating his property and privacy, or trying to manage his response to this breakup, or something else. And also, perhaps in finding those pictures of other women, a sense of jealousy ignited within you. And the reality of him being interested in or pursuing other women is what actually has you wanting him back. And if that were the case, that would be your ego telling you to get back with him and possess him. It's not your heart talking. And I'm really sorry if you feel I'm coming down on you here. I say all these things not to make you feel bad. Of course, that's not my intention. But rather to show you not only what I believe to be true about this relationship, but also what I believe to be true about your potential as a lover and a partner. Really consider what you've said to me today and how I've replied to you. Are these the stories that you want to tell about the greatest love of your life? I'm sure they're not. Surely this is not how love is supposed to look for you, nor is it how love has to look for you, regardless of the story you've told yourself. Though love requires a lot of sacrifice, a lot of reactivity, a lot of frustration, and many times in which you've somehow felt bested and need to accommodate, still on a grander scale, love is ultimately a hunt and something that we grab by the horns. It's riddled in passion. The right love is something that we take because we have no other choice. Our feelings are simply too strong. They're not as meek as maybe I'll stay, maybe I won't find better. We've done it long enough. That's fear. That's sheltering yourself from feeling weak because it can be awfully hard to break up and awfully hard to be alone. I get that. But it's often the price that we have to pay, the investment we have to first put down if we're going to grow enough to be able to love fully. And look, everyone loves differently, so it's not my business to say that you don't love this man, but I will tell you with confidence that it is not the highest form of love that you are capable of. And for that reason, it's time to go. This relationship has either ended at the 8-year mark or is going on an indefinite hiatus at the 8-year mark. And that's all right. Go out there and get hurt. Deal with the pain of being alone for a while. Learn from it and get in touch with who you really are and what you want your story of love to look like. And finally, what you're willing to do for it. And thanks again to the asker for sending this question in and helping make another episode possible. But also thank yourself, asker. You're already making progress by reaching out and putting your feelings out there and questioning your place in this relationship instead of just riding it out because it might feel easier to. This is exactly the type of start that you want when it comes to learning about how to provide the best love that you can. And I am certain that you're on the right path. So kudos to you. Now, if you've got a question of your own that you would like help with on the show, please email it in to me. The email address I can be reached at is advice@oldpodcast.com. Advice@oldpodcast.com. Don't be shy. I would love to hear from you and help you out, and the door is always open. Aside from that, we are done for now, though, everyone. It is Sunday, so stay tuned for our weekly bonus episode, which is live now in our feed as well. And I hope to see you there, where your optimal life awaits.